Club AG.
Let's do that again.
There we go. Hopefully we'll get this together pretty quick. Let's just call the meeting in order to make it official. And we can start with our board member introductions. Obviously, I'm Greg Martin. I'm the president for the West Coast Soaring Club. The other guys could just quickly introduce themselves. That'd be great.
For the board members, Jeremy Evans.
Pedro from membership and website.
David from the Pemberton area.
Sam from the island.
Leonard from the Fraser Valley sites.
And Tony, I am the secretary.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Okay, so the agenda overview will be we're going to adopt the minutes from last year. So if someone wants to vote on that, that'd be great. Vote that we adopt the minutes. Someone second it, please. Thank you. Okay.
Second.
Awesome. Yeah.
Question, where were the minutes published? I haven't seen them myself.
They are on the board. On the
Forum.
Okay, it's on the forum. Thank
If
you.
you go there, you can see like all the past years, the EPM minutes and whatnot. The financials should all be there as well. Okay, but right now we're just going to start with the director's reports. So if we can get Pedro talk about membership.
I'm gonna start right away because I have quite a difference on time with you guys, and I would like to call it short. But basically, in membership, we are quite a healthy bunch. Total active members on the club 192, from which only 176 can vote at the AGM. We have 167 members, full members up to date, 9 student registered, and 16 people out of town on the roster. We are lacking a little bit on students, and I will say I would like to have all the instructors to really push the idea on students that they become members. They are the basis of the club, and this is the way that we can progress doing work for them and help them going. So I think 9 registered students is a very, very small number for what we have. Having said that, I implemented a year and a half ago the home site for all the membership, and I consider by now everybody that had registered had to have selected their home site, and we have a series of people in the different areas. Woodside counts with 72 permanent members, Bridal 18 members, Bainey with 10 members, Mackenzie with 41, Grouse Mountain 5, Beaufort Valley 1 member, Provost 7 member, Malahat 0, Bayou 1 member, Dallas Road 4 members. Though those last ones, both for Provost, Malahat, Yabu, Dallas will be, and Bruce Peak are all island pilots. But they give us a good idea of the demographics on the different areas. A total of 159 have selected home sites, so a few have, about 20 or so have not set up their homes yet. It's important to set that up because that helps us figure out a little bit how people are moving around and where we need to improve our forces or help or whatever. So if we can make sure that when you renew or so, select your home site will be great, and show this to other people so they realize that there is activity going, and we can motivate other people to become members, because by my idea in numbers, we should be a few more members on this on the club. It's just there are some people that overlapping and not really renewing the membership in time. I do like to thank Jim Delahant because he just renew not long ago, and he sent me a whole bunch of little issues and misspells and things I have done with my Spanglish on all the systems. So I'm going to be working on those and get them fixed. Anyone that ever sees something that is wrong on the site, feel free to tell me because that's the only way I can get better. And that's pretty much the report on my side. Regarding websites, we're going to have someone coming on board to help with the communications and stuff, and I'm going to work with them to update and get the websites with fresher content. But yeah, that will be the report on my side.
Awesome, Pedro. Thanks for that.
Any questions?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I agree. Obviously, the student membership is low, and it's like to reiterate that the West Coast are primarily where everyone's being taught. It's the best way to introduce them to the club. It's cheap. That's why we've done it the way it is, as well as there's important information that they get to receive, and then they also get our newsletters as they come in, instead of them when they're a P2 and later down the road, and they've missed a lot of content of what's going on. So, yeah, we'll just send a letter out to all the instructors again, just reiterating all that.
Good. And that's that. I'm not presenting myself as president. I'm going to quit now. Don't vote me as president, please.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Anything else, guys, from my part?
No, I know it's really early in the morning for you right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Thanks, Pedro. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Okay. How about we handle James Rogers, the treasurer? He's also not here. Can we post the financials up here? Can we share a screen so everyone can see them? I don't know if they were sent out. Sorry,
Do you want to share a screen?
Yeah, can we just to go over it? Because I don't know.
You should be able to do that if you have them. Or
I
do you want
don't.
me?
You might.
Okay. Let's do someone else's.
I talk about it, but
Yeah, I'll prepare that on the side while you someone else talks.
no, I got it at the same time you guys did. So we do have the financials. They're very similar to last year. When you look at them, when it comes to the profits, now James, unfortunately wasn't able to be here, but he wanted me to let everybody know that he will be available if anybody has questions in regards to the financials to reach out to him directly, and he's happy to go over them with everybody. It'll also be posted on the website as well as with the minutes later. Okay, so just from November 2024 to October 2025, as income, we had some banner sales that we purchased for $1,125. Membership sales was $16,709.28. The repack sales was $2,360 for a total of $20,194.28. Then it goes into the expenses, the bank charges, $1.35, club events, $1,881.85. Insurance is $1,353.30. Landowner gifts was $517.24. If anyone doesn't know, that's the turkey run that we do every year, where we show some love back to the landowners, where we usually land in their crops and whatnot and keep us somewhat good standing in our areas. Land tenures was $7,001.58. Meals, entertainment, $41.84. Office expenses, $1,619.34. PayPal fee, $711.07. Repack expenses was $1,356.71. Site maintenance was $5,824.58 for total expenses of $20,308.80. Interest $736 earned for total other outcome $700.03 and a profit of $621.45. Everyone can see the balance sheet, right? As well as I can. Overall, total liabilities equity is $20,413.99. These will be a little bit skewed from the time they were done. There were some other expenses that had to been paid out, but it's going to be very close to what it is right now. It doesn't talk about overly about like a greater breakdown for the things that we did purchase. It was paid back by BCHPA. Some of that I'll get into later when we start talking about some other things. But essentially, that is the financials. Anybody have any questions?
Greg, maybe share a little bit. One of the big items that we pay for each year is the tenure costs, and that there is a possibility of applying to a different form of tenure that would save us money.
Right. So we're still trying to get some information. We did change one tenure, which I think everyone might remember. We had a special resolution meeting where we changed one from commercial to recreational, and to the tune of $1 on the island. So we are looking into that as well. Like, what is the actual difference between the commercial and the way our tenure is set up and a recreational? And by changing it from a commercial to a rec, if there's any blowback by doing that. So that is something that we'll be finding out hopefully pretty recently in the new year, as we've been trying to get a hold of somebody to sit down for a meeting. So I want to make sure there is no actual consequence for doing something. And that's pretty much it. It would be amazing if it was downgraded, because the club itself doesn't do any instruction. Like, we do sign liability waivers for everyone that flies, or so pilots. Everyone else would be covered, like a student pilot would be covered under the instructor's insurance. And again, it has nothing to do with us. So I'd like to see, if there's something we can do. What is it? Jim, you have a question?
Yes. I like that the equity is about $28,000, which is a bit more than a year's worth of income. Do you have a target for how much equity or cash on hand you want the club to have as a proportion of annual expenses or annual income? I mean,
Yeah.
a bit more than one seems good. A 2x or 3 would be even better.
Right. Well, for us, in the way we've written up our charter, it's like we try to maintain about $20,000 at any given time for an extreme emergency. So let's just take what happened this year. Let's talk about Riverside Z, right? Brad was upset, wanted to kick us all out. Went back, talked to him. We did originally have a deal with the Duncans, with Brad's father, who passed away, and we were paying $2,500 a year, right, for Riverside. That did drop off when Brad got upset because there was pets in the field. Someone drove in the field. Again, that's why we established, again, no pets in the fields. Absolutely none. Just because of this, because a cross-contamination from a dog to his grain is catastrophic. So that's why that happened. Now, and also why he was very duly upset when someone walked a pet in the field. Right? So he wanted us to pay $14,000 a year to land at Riverside, which again would be catastrophic if we had to lease the land from him, which is a bare reality in today's world. Even in Pemberton and whatnot, we could end up having to lease land. So we always try to maintain that emergency fund of about $20,000. Okay, now And we're in a bit of a surplus, but not much, as you can see, because our profit that we only made, the difference is $621.45. So that leaves us $8,000 roughly to do all the mowing, do all the maintenance that we do. Right. And get our tenures paid. So that's why it's also important that everyone pays their dues. The more money we have coming in, the more money the club can actually do to benefit its members, you know, whatever that may be, whatever we like to see it. And I don't think $80 a year is unreasonable by any means. Now, if we could decrease it, great. And then this will be a conversation later of how things could change. But yeah, typically we need about that $8,000 mark just to kind of operate right now throughout the year, and 2,500 of that's going directly to the Duncans.
Yep. Thank you for that explanation. Just as a point, as a line in the sand, this amount of $20,000 seems reasonable and, if anything, low. If we had a potential $14,000 surprise, that would blow that mostly away. If we had an obstacle to collecting our dues for a year, that would mostly blow it away. So I would be completely comfortable with a larger reserve. But I know that there's different opinions about that.
There is, and at the moment, you know, we don't feel that there is a need to raise the dues at this particular. You know, we're sitting okay. We're operating. We don't want to overly stress anybody. And 80 seems to be pretty reasonable. Obviously, if their situation changes, say we need to lease an LZ, whatnot, then we will obviously revisit this and see where we're at that point. And then we'll all have a vote on what we'd like to.
I could say something there also, you know, the push to get new students on and paying dues earlier than what is typical. And then, of course, we do have a lot of members that they're expired, but they're still flying. So we have some people that we need to bring on board and convince them that we're actually doing good for the club, because some people just kind of resist that, but they use our site. And I don't need to start anything between paying and non-paying members, but that is a percentage of profits that we're not seeing either. So that's not something that'll double our cash reserves in 2 or 3 years, but it's a bit. So if we could just get the instructors on board and sign up the students early, and get these other people who are a little delinquent in their fees that are still flying to pay up, that would help as well.
100%. You know, so the club is to be as great as we want it to be, but obviously we need funds to operate. You know, if everyone paid their dues, then we would have a little bit.
By the way, I see that most of our cash is in a term deposit. Are we actually able to access that cash if something happens, like on short notice?
Yep, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah. I know James arranged that 2 years ago, I believe. We threw it in there just so it could help itself generate a little bit of money. And it has helped a little bit. But yes, it is fully accessible at any given time. Any other questions? No. All right. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. What do we got? Let's move on to Tony. Secretary, what do we got?
Oh, what do we got? I just wanted to mention that we did a couple events here this past year. Let me bring up my file here. So a bit of a beginning of a promotional campaign here for us. So we have some flyers made up, some banners made up. Thank you to Jason Steves. I'm not sure if he's on here, but he worked on that for us. And we did a couple events last year. So Science World After Dark Extreme Sports. And we had Kevin and Greg and Nora and I went out and we set up a 3D simulator. Thank you very much to Tanya. We borrowed a simulator, got a harness, put people in it, put on a 3D headset, and we used Rod through 3D footage that he sent us. And it was a freaking hit. Like we were the star of the show there at Science World, and it was pretty cool. So I don't have any pictures to show you, but it's been sent out in the emails that Jeremy sent out and stuff already. But it was oh, sorry, here I don't have my camera here. Yeah, so it was a really big hit. It was great, and we're going to do it again next year if they offer it. And then there was also like it was nonstop. The battery power was running out. It was a problem. But then there was also the Kilowatt Air Show, and on very short notice, we had Denny and Linda set that up for us and went to the Kilowatt Air Show, and they took the flyers and the banners and all the equipment we had, and they did one there too. And we have some other opportunities. There's other shows that we can kind of throw our face at in the next year if we search. And also there's some obvious ones that we already know about. But if anybody knows about any shows where we can set up a presence there, just for a little promotional thing that we want to keep pressing on. You know, the signs that we put up at the launches, they have QR codes for the general public, not just for us. So that as well. We just want to get out there and show people that we exist and get them to look up, and all these other user groups like the bikers and the 4x4 club, you know, the airport, the tour companies, the flight schools. We just want them to know we're here. So we did a big push on that in the last year, and it was great. And thank you very much to Kevin Alt and Denny and Linda and all the other volunteers that helped us with this. And if anybody wants to help, it's tough for just 5 or 6 board members to go to these things. We all have conflicting schedules, right? We all have regular worlds. So anybody in the club who wants to help, we would really appreciate the help on getting these things done. And they're really fun, like the event. The event was fun. So, and I know Denny and Linda had a great time too. And I don't know if they're on right now. Denny and Linda on here right now at all? No. No. So that's all right. But yeah, successful. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was actually, I was there as well for the Science World one. Again, thank you, Nora. Thank you, Tanya. She loaned us the simulator. Thank you, Kevin. It was a good time. Yeah, we had these pamphlets made. I don't know if you could read. Probably not. Aren't you really nice? Always have some in my truck. Just run up to me and I will hand you one. But when I go and go down to an airport, start talking to the tour companies and whatnot, they never really have a lot of information. We never had anything other than just talking to them and to explain, you know, what we're doing, where we are. So we decided to have some of these pamphlets made up so it's easy to hand off to them so they could see the information. We also included heat maps for Chilliwack, Mission, and Pemberton inside there, which were actually beneficial because I had a lot of guys going, hey, I didn't even realize, you know, that's where you are. And it's like, yeah, now you got to think every thread in that heat map was a paragraph. So at any given time, we could be anywhere. Okay, thanks. So keep your head out. And they were pretty amazed about how far we travel. Right. So that way it helps out too, just to help spread awareness within those communities.
And we don't really have any metrics to measure how successful this is right now, but this is just the first year that we did it. And hopefully it helps the local flight schools and also maybe gets the odd fixed-wing airplane to look out left and right when they're flying by Woodside, because we have a lot of people that seem to be oblivious that we're there completely. So we hope it helps to get more pilots and get the other aircraft in the air aware of us.
100%. Thanks for that, Tony. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Otherwise, did we want to mention the fly-ins? Like Sam ran a very incredible fly-in on the island, so that's also kind of, you know, another event. I don't know how the public was involved in that, but did you want to say anything about that, or is that a separate?
Well, I was gonna let Sam talk about that. Jim, I saw. Yeah, you could reach out to anybody, any one of us. For, you know, volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers for so many different things, especially events. And like Tony was saying, just, you know, anything else we're doing other than work parties. You know, there are many, many places where we could use help. Many hands make light work. Okay, how about we go with Jeremy?
Yep. Hello, everyone. That's going to be pretty quick for me because I was somewhat busy this year, so I haven't seen most of you. Baby stuff. So this year we did the usual repack sessions. The last Friday of the month, we're repeating that again next year. Same place, same people, basically. Almost the same time. So there's going to be another repack on in Rosedale. This one is booked. Same place in Vancouver, same place on the island. It's still time if someone wants to have another event somewhere else with like a minimum number of say 15 pilots. It's still feasible to plan one and organize it. So if a posse can be formed somewhere, we can do that. Uh, we did the barbecue on the at Woodside. And yeah, it was nice. The weather was relatively compliant. We had a little hike and fly challenge, which was won by a brand new pilot who just got his P2, I think, the month before or something like this. So that was very nice. And we'll try to do the same thing next year at a different time of the year so that there's going to be more flying involved, not just hiking. Um, and yeah, we'll try to do some more of that. There were also a flying event on the island. Sam will talk to you about that. And yes, that's about it for me.
Awesome. Any questions for Jeremy? Other than again, anyone who wants to volunteer for events, Jeremy's your man. And Sam. And Tony. Sorry. Okay, let's the membership. All right, David, you're up. What's going on, Pemberton?
All right. So we're just getting organized this year to work with the Village of Pemberton to get approval for tandems to land at the regular LZ. So that's something we started on last year, and I'm working on that. Still working as well on getting the formal tenure for the Miller launch that we've been using for some shuttle plus little hike and fly. And also, we're planning for a late spring or early summer fly-in. And while I was down in Mexico, also was talking to Paul Gershbrauer, who has the Wanderbird brand. He's interested in potentially doing an event or something like that in Pemberton. So I'll be in discussion with him as well.
Sick.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for Pemberton. I think that they're covered in snow now. We'll be doing some more maintenance, hopefully bring more soil up to upper launch. And we had the launch looked fantastic last year. It was all grassy for quite a bit of the season, so want to keep that going.
Awesome. And I'm sure Janet loves that. Okay. Thanks for that, buddy. Anybody got questions for David?
Hey David, Giles here. Did Paul get in details about when you guys wanna promote this Wonderbird in Pemberton?
No, it's just an idea that he brought up, and we're just looking at the kind of other comps that are in Vancouver. Like I was looking at July long weekend, but I think there's some other stuff going on. But we'll be looking at that, and I don't know if it'll happen this year, but that's something that he's trying to plan about that far ahead.
Okay. You can send me a separate note on this. I've attended 3 Wonderbirds so far. I know very well. So
yeah, I just did the one in Mexico 2 weeks as well, so it was cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get one to Brazil as well. So that's good. If you want to get in touch, happy to contribute.
Okay.
That'd be awesome, Giles. Thanks for that. You guys have been, you and your son have been busy this year.
Yeah, Gabrielle won the overall fun category this year. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I remember when your son was training
Yeah. So this 2006, I think, is going to be very busy. We want to attend at least 3 events, so let's see. But I think we should have one in Canada, at least like what they call a community. I can fly to start and then see how it goes.
Yes, and again, that is something that is always in a discussion, again, with events and where we need help with. Just planning fun events locally. Get it going.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, we can talk more about that, later. But if you're interested, yeah, reach out, talk to David, talk to Sam. Sam's been doing a lot of work on that right now, trying to get fun events going. So great. Okay, Sam, speaking of Sam, let's talk to you. What's going on the island?
All right. Well, yeah, you keep mentioning my names. I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just thinking it's been like 3 or 4 years since the island joined West Coast. Hope we've been a good addition. Yeah, we had a fun fly-in this year. We had like 40 people. We tried out a new format where we kind of did an event with a little hike, some spot landing. We were trying to do some XC too and kind of do like a combined score, like fun comp, but we didn't really get the weather for it. That was kind of the story of the year. I also tried to run a bigger sort of XC event in the spring and just got an entire month of no flyable weather, and that it totally failed. So we're gonna try again. But in the spirit of events and comps, there's also a new HPAC comp group spinoff that's been looking at figuring stuff out, including the Nationals and Golden next year. And um, there's also a lot of talk about doing some more local events combined with our club. So if people are keen on helping with events next year, definitely get in touch with me. We don't have anything else set in stone yet, but we're looking at other, just the ability to do more like task flying in the community more regularly in ways that are accessible and fun and help teach. So we got lots of ideas in the back burner, but nothing that we're officially announcing yet. So just sort of stay tuned for spring and we'll see what we can cook up for you guys. Not just on the island, but probably also like Fraser Valley and Pemberton too. Other than that, no real big changes on the island. There's not a lot of us, but we fly a lot, and people are flying Dallas today. So if you want to get some airtime in the winter, we sporadically get flyable Dallas weather in the winter. So come on over.
You
Oh,
could
that's awesome.
stop talking already, Sam. We don't want to hear it.
Don't worry, I didn't go flying today. I'm homesick, so I
Yeah.
just heard about it.
Any questions for Sam? Anybody? Okay, cool. Let's move on. Okay, Leonard, you're up. Leonard's the Fraser Valley Sites Director.
All right. Run through a couple things on Woodside. Recently, we just put up the new wind meter, replacing the ZAC meter, which was on 3G and expired with the 4G being forced as a requirement. It worked well for the first 2 weeks, and now with the winter, it's not working so well with the cold batteries and such. So probably end up taking it down, putting it back up in spring, or look at some other options or what have you. But it was a bit of a trial to see how well these packaged units from EcoWet would hold up in the winter. But that's been fairly obvious. It's not working so well. The LZ, as Greg had mentioned, obviously the big thing this year was the dogs in the LZ and the blow up with the Duncans. We also put up some new signage at the hang glider tandem LZ, specifically for not having vehicles in the field. That got added in. The LZ at Riverside is still for sale. Hasn't been any updates on it, hasn't been any traffic or any offers. So the feeling is that the price is still too high and it's not going to move until they significantly adjust their expectations on that. So that's good news from our point of view. If it doesn't sell, then business should carry on as usual. On the Pedro had also mentioned it. We do need to update the website. There's a lot of outdated information about Woodside, particularly. So that's on the to-do list for the next year. Adding in some stronger language on the no dogs in the LZ is a big piece. Updated pictures with the AstroTurf on the top. That's not on the website, and of course it presents really well. Another update is we continue to work on with the BC Forestry and the local logging companies on logging below the launch. Just got West Fraser is looking at it now. We're hopeful that in the spring we'll see some movement on it, either between West Fraser or the First Nation group that does a lot of logging on Woodside as well. So putting a lot of effort on that right now, keeping the keep squeaking in the wheel that the logging would add 20 years to the life of the Woodside launch. That'd be super cool. Volunteers continue to maintain the hiking trails up through the bypasses. The hike and fly competition happened this year, so that was good. It'd be nice to see another one of those next year. That's and then yeah, the mowing still is happening as well on a regular basis. So that's kind of the Woodside update. At Bridal, we repositioned the LZ this year to be within the 10-year area. About 30% of it was on the golf course property. So basically it was an adjustment to the mowing to make sure it was fully within the 10-year area. This was flagged as something that needed to be addressed from the gondola folks that are working on the gondola application that the LZ was on their property. Greg did a little work fixing up the Forest Service Road as well as the I'm not sure which group it was, Greg, that cleaned up the spur road. That was the forestry as well, I believe. We drafted a letter and submitted it to the province and to the gondola company with regards to the gondola, particularly outlining the key things that impact us. Mainly, we don't want to see our LZ impacted. We want to continue having our access up the Forest Service Road and an ability to launch off the current site. So far, it hasn't received a response, but we'll see where that goes for the next year as the gondola kind of just keeps pushing forward. And whether it happens or not, we don't know. But it's kind of the balance between maintaining a good enough relationship with the gondola such that they hear our concerns rather than getting pushed to the side and having our flight operations impacted by the gondola. We had a couple work parties, did decent pruning below launch a couple of months ago. So that, of course, is always necessary. We'll probably end up doing one more in the spring and potentially top a couple of trees as well that are growing pretty quick. That's kind of the bridal launch, high level, the Fraser Valley airplane traffic awareness. Really try to push out a couple of these brochures and such to the airport in Chilliwack and Abbotsford to raise the awareness of of us as paragliders, little dots in the sky that airplanes may not know about. So we'll be pushing that out as well. 10 years, looking at these more cost-effective options. That mainly applies to both Bridal and Woodside on the 10 years there. So definitely be looking at that to see if we could save some money without impacting the use of the property. And then last thing on my list is developing and maintaining relationships with the various tourism organizations, being Destination BC, Vancouver Tourism, Chilliwack Tourism, Harrison Tourism, because that does build awareness from a tourist perspective. That's it.
Awesome, man. No, it's been a busy year for you, buddy.
I know.
A lot of fabulous. Actually, everyone's done a lot of great work. But yeah, contact, especially with everything that's going on with the gondola, forestry, dealing with the district, talking to everybody. It's been really good. Really happy with what everyone's been up to. Yeah, but just to touch back onto the Bridle Road. So I said when they weren't acting fast enough, and it just became such a hazard. So that's why I ran a machine up there that we talked about last year, just in case, just to ease the road out a little bit, especially on our spur road, whereas there was a couple of vehicles that got stuck, and one of them was mine, almost freaking slid off the mountain right there. So anyhow, just so everyone knows, because it wasn't clear, the rental and cost of fuel and everything was $1,672.14. Half of that was covered by BCHPA, which was pre-approved before I went there. So they reimbursed us the 50% of that cost. So it cost us $836.07 for me to go up there for 2 days and fix fix up the road. And then fortunately, when I sent them a bill and talked to them, then they went up there and repatted the road after that summer, which is fine because they actually armored the road better than I had, just because they had much larger machinery and brought up the rock truck. So that should be good for a few years now, which is awesome. So that's all I really have for that. Anybody have any questions in regards to any of this? No? Okay. Well, we covered a lot of the subjects that will actually pertain to like new business, so we're moving on to new business. Again, Leonard, we're working on everything at Woodside and Bridal. Things foreseen with the gondola. I don't think there is a lot of new business for next year unless there's something I'm missing, other than the obvious things that you've already said about the website being updated. There is going to be more engagement with our Instagram and just Facebook. David has graciously decided to take that on and help Pedro. Yeah. Other than, again, coming back to people that want to help out with events, and that's simple fly-ins or whatever it is. I mean, we'd like to get more of that going in the public out there. Just more fun events within the community. Anybody have anything that they would like to bring up that we should be talking about for new business?
Yes, I want to bring up something that I've just learned a couple of days ago. About NAF Canada's changes to transponders regulation. So recently, last year, they started requiring transponders in the upper airspace, and they built out a satellite constellation for that. Now they're starting to run consultations about requiring transponders in low-level controlled airspace, including Class E airspace, where currently we just need a Hagar to fly there. And actually, if you look in the regulations currently, hang gliders including paragliders, are exempted from transponder regulations in Class E airspace. But right now, there isn't really much of Class E airspace that has transponder requirements, right? But that's going to change. They might require it wholesale. So they're just now starting a consultation, and on January 9th, COPA, it's like HPAC, but for general aviation, they will have a webinar to give more information. I plan to attend if I'm able. Anyone who's interested in this issue can also do that. Preferably if someone flies XC cross country, because I don't have experience with that, so you're better off explaining some concerns or detecting some issues with that. Yeah, but basically, obviously, we don't want to spend like $5,000 on a transponder, and they're like big and heavy because they need to talk not just to the ground stations but also to satellites, because Canada is kind of unique in this way. So yeah, there's a bunch of questions in there. I hope we'll end up with something reasonable, but we may need to make some noise about that eventually. We should just plan for that. Just wanted to bring it up.
Can you put a web address or something there, Nikita, just so that we can go have a look online and check it out? Do you have some sources there we can check out?
Well, I mean, if you just Google something like NAF Canada 2028 ADSB, you'll find their page. I don't have a link handy. Let me see. If I can find the public link for the COPA email, I will try to. Oh, there it is. One sec. I'll drop it in the chat. Right, so I just got the link in the chat, and I'll. And then they have this other NAF Canada page. Also drop it in the chat. It doesn't say much. I've looked a bit further than this, into like the various regulations and the costs and stuff. And in some countries like the UK and Australia, they have small ADS-B devices like this size that they allow to use for hang gliders where transponders are required. But those other countries, I believe, use ground stations for ADS-B, whereas Canada went with a different route. They use, yeah, you're saying it's wrong, or right, Sam? Is it?
I have a friend who just looked into trying to get an ADS-B set up, and nothing is light enough for us to use, let alone under like $10,000.
Yeah, like I said, if you wanted to actually satisfy the current ADS-B technical requirements in Canada, that's insane. That's going to cost more than a hang glider, and also be heavy, and also require power. Um, so there must be some kind of way we can deal with this. I don't know what the way it is. Luckily, I don't think NAF Canada actually wants us, needs us to do that, because like they want ADS-B piped to them through the satellite so that they can direct traffic, right? But like if we're flying like in Pemberton, nobody's directing traffic there at low levels. So maybe they don't care. It's just like we need to kind of convey to them the importance of this issue to us, and figure out what kind of compromise would be acceptable to them.
Yeah, understandable. Thanks for bringing it to our attention as well, because I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. And sorry, and the COPA link that I posted, it does have a link to a NAV Canada consultation about it. I mean, I just submitted something simple, but I think we'd be better off researching this a bit more, maybe attending this January 9th webinar to figure out what we actually need to write to them.
And also pushing this up to HPAC, because this is really an HPAC consideration.
And HPAC too, yeah.
I was going to say we send this over to Tyler. We'll send all the information. Yeah. To Tyler, get him the information, make sure he knows. And,
are you going to do that, or do you want me to do that?
Well, you have it on you right now. You can kick it over to him right now.
Okay, I'll do it.
It looks targeted to high traffic areas, but of course that's us, right? Fraser Valley. But the last time that they did an update to the airspace here in the Fraser Valley, they actually made it better for us, and they got rid of a transponder required area by mission. So
yeah,
you never know what these guys are going to do, but they do work at a glacial pace. So we probably have a little bit of time to look into this. Thanks, Nikita. That's awesome.
Well, there has to be a viable option that works for us, because obviously, we're not carrying like a.
It's insane. So the timeline is the consultation ends on February 9th, so we have enough time to attend the webinar and learn some things. Then they will read the feedback, presumably, and make the decision somewhere in the summer. And then there might be future consultations, especially because currently the Canadian air regulations specifically say that hang gliders are exempt from transponder requirements in Class E airspace, and this consultation is not enough to change that. They would need another Transport Canada consultation. So if that does change, that's still going to be in the future. But they already spent the money to launch the satellites into space, and we even haven't heard anything about that. So the thing is going. It's just we need to make sure that it's going fine with us. The actual implementation in Class C airspace, they're saying, is going to be no earlier than 2028. But again, of course, it's much better to get on this early, which right now is a consultation they're asking. So we should research and give our opinions on that.
100%. I'll follow up. If Tyler doesn't respond, I'll follow up with him as well.
Okay, I'll just copy you in the.
Don't we just take these things and put them right into Peter Spear's lap?
Let's see. Sorry. I just want to also thank Tom Gregg for helping with the weather stations. He's been our go-to tree guy at the moment, and he's been awesome. So, just quickly there. And then yeah, no, moving on. Turkey Run. I purchased all the wine or turkey. I'll be dropping them off tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got. Unless anyone else has something else. Move on to the next subject, which is board nominations. Okay.
Hey, Greg, I
So-
nominate you for president.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor?
Yeah. I have talked to everybody on the board. Everyone's fine to stay. This will be my last term before there is a change up, which will be about come down to a vote. Somebody that's already a board member or has been a board member, unless someone wants to go for that right now. Okay. But let's kind of go through it. I know there is an opening for secretary right now. There is a nomination, and I'm going to nominate Nima Nasari, who is here. Our beloved Tony is still going to be around, but I don't know, I guess he's got better things to do. Actually, Tony, how long have you been on here? Quite a while. You've done some awesome things. He's been always so helpful. He's always at the work party.
One day I asked a board member, how do you get on the board and just be like a fly on the wall and do absolutely nothing? And they said, hey, be secretary. And boy, were they wrong.
That's kind of how James put it to me. Oh, it's just like what you're already doing. He lied. But Tony has done some amazing work here. He's always been so helpful. He took on the sign design. He trained himself on how to design those. He's done some amazing things around here, as well as his lovely partners. Helped him out doing some awesome photos for us. I hope she will continue to do that, even though you're not a board member anymore. But we will make him an event chair, I guess. So we don't need to vote that. We can just do that. Anyhow, moving on. Nima, are you here? Can you hear me? See your name.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Awesome. So I am nominating Nima for secretary. Is there anybody else who would like to take on the secretary role?
I hope somebody will be there.
Nima, do you know what a fool's hope is?
Sorry?
Do you know what a fool's hope is?
Find out. Okay. I know we got to post a vote. Jeremy?
Okay, let me prepare that for a minute.
Got to make it legal. But before that, I don't know. Nima, you want to say a couple words about yourself? I know Nima has been always, again, very helpful in the community. He's also very active back in his home in Bahrain with his own club. And I'm really looking forward, if anyone knows Nima, man, his smile is just really infectious. Can't help but be happy around that guy. But I think it'd be an awesome addition to the board. I've done this before.
Do you guys see it? Oh, yeah. Apparently, yes. Do we have to go majority or unanimity?
Majority.
Oh, well, we had it then. 19 out of 24.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Thank you for playing and congratulations, Nima.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Congratulations, Nima.
Really? Oh my God. Okay.
Just like that, I told you.
Like that, man. You just had to show up.
Just to be honest, I want to say it's my first time in the Canada after my moving to Canada. I have this position, and if it's possible, I want to ask the Tiny for the transfer time or for the period I work with him as an assistant or for something, because then I be ready for do everything right correctly.
Oh, buddy. Tony's running for the hills right now. Trial by fire.
Or maybe someone else.
Nima, it's a 10-year term and it's about 40 hours a week.
If you have any questions, Tony is always willing, to help you out or answer any questions. Obviously, you get at.
I'll send you my info, Nima. Whatever you think this is, if you're worried about it, it's nothing like that, and you could definitely be worried about it.
Hey, that being said, congratulations. Looking forward to working with you. And Tony, congratulations. It was awesome working with you. Now we can just sit back and have beers.
Thank you very much. I'm not gone forever.
Thank you for all your hard work. Like seriously, you've been awesome. Okay. Anybody else? I guess pretty much almost every other position it's open for, even though I've already said everyone's fine where they are this year. But here,
If anyone wants to be the Fraser Valley site directors, I'll gladly give up my position. Just FYI.
that's you're not due. You're done.
That's the quota. One position per year. Sorry.
But next year, yeah, it'll be a bit of a heavy year. So I'd like people to think about it. They'd like to join the board. Because I know we will be looking for someone for membership, and we are looking for someone for treasurer. Unless, and again, if Leonard just decides to give up, his spot to be president right now. No, okay. Okay, that's next year. That's a next year problem. Okay, but just so everyone knows, that's where we're at with that. And congratulations, Nima. Thanks for coming out and playing.
Jim has a question.
Jim, go.
I'm not clear on the process here. Are we electing the other officers now too? And is that by acclamation?
Well, anyone can nominate themselves, or a board member can nominate, and we can vote, right? So right now it was.
So right now you're waiting for nominations basically, and then you'll close nominations at some point?
Pretty much, I figured we were done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the only one that was really open right now, unless someone wanted to take over membership or wanted to take over finance.
Is this one of the societies where the board resigns at the end of every year and we need to formally re-elect them, or do
No,
people
usually
carry on?
it's a 2-year stint.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what I mean. Jeremy.
So in other words, all the other board officers are in the end of year one of a 2-year stint, so there's no need to have elections for the other officers.
Unless Pedro was willing to give up his seat as he wanted, but because he will be leaving next year for sure.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
And as well as James Rogers, his position is open if somebody wants that spot as treasurer. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, now to the fun stuff. Rookie of the year. All right, hold on a second. Where is this thing? Got the coveted. Make sure it's facing the right way. Rookie. Man, my thing always blurs out for some reason.
Back right beside your face. Attach it to your cheek. Oh, it's still there you go.
There we go. The coveted rookie award. This year, it was severely tough. There were so many great nominations, so many deserving people. But it did come down to Caleb from Adaptive Paragliding. I would actually really like David to talk about his student and tell us why he nominated him. It's actually a pretty amazing story. And I would really appreciate if he could just, give everyone a bit of a share and why we decided this.
Hey, I think Leonard can explain much better than me.
I don't know. I had said he's your special project. I mean, from my point of view, like for the best of us, getting into paragliding is a huge task of opportunity and going out and doing it, going through the course, learning how to paraglide. But for somebody like Caleb, who's a paraplegic, even getting out of bed is tough work, let alone going out and trying to learn how to paraglide and sharing that with all his friends and such. And he's been quite an advocate on the Spinal Cord Injury Society as well, and on showing how paragliding has changed his life and his mindset. And from that perspective, it's it's a real give back for Caleb.
Yeah,
But go ahead, David.
Greg, my main reason why I kind of like put Caleb for nomination was I met him a year ago, right? We started training together. He's the first adaptive solo pilot in Canada. We have now another 5 guys and 1 girl lined up to become his wife Andra also flies solo now. But we have other younger people coming, trying to take on for solo flying because it helps them to change their life. But Caleb came to Colombia this winter for adaptive event. He came straight from Calgary Hospital when he basically signed a waiver. It's full-on infection of kidneys, and just because he wanna fly, went to Colombia, end up in hospital there, and in 2 weeks he managed to fly 3 tandems with me and Lucio, one of my friends. And I was like, this is crazy. I was like, no, I just wanna fly. And I never met in my life anyone so dedicated to handling and becoming solo pilot and becoming someone who can promote the sport and live in the sport, because he just loves it. And I think he will do great things he lives up in Terrace, but consider Woodside is like home base, because we have the most convenient place for adaptive flying right now outside of Lumby. So I think he will be good for sport. He's a Paralympian. He's a high-profile athlete from past, a very level-headed guy, and I think he will do really well on his level, and he will kick some ass. And also, like, he's willing to promote the sport and promote our club and get more people involved. And I think he absolutely deserved the prize or recognition. That's all I can say.
Severely inspiring. So
It's
a lot of things to write up that you're not saying. We'll go through it, but it's truly inspiring. But like I said, it was still really tough. Tanya had a great student this year as well. That it was like the first time it was a very tough decision. It really was. But yeah, everyone who was nominated was truly deserving. And yeah, but congratulations, Caleb, man. It was awesome. Is he here? I don't.
No, he's back in Terrace getting ready for again. Yeah, I forgot. My bad. I forgot to send him the invite for the. I will call him in the morning and deliver the news.
Okay, well, you guys will work out a time where I can hand this off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coveted torch of awesomeness.
I think we can do it in January before we go to Colombia in person. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, on that note, also I didn't want to like really interfere with all the business, but we are kind of planning to do fairly large meet of adaptive this early July, having maybe 15-20 guys from all over the world coming to Woodside and spend 4 days here and 4 days in Lumby.
Nice.
And that will come with a little bit of media attention, and hopefully Rick Hansen can attend and help us to kick it off and stuff like that. So yeah, I really appreciate, I think Leon is on the same note. I really appreciate support from the club and from everyone helping us. It's it's important to me. I think it's a really good thing to do, but hopefully it will also help the club in, along the way. It's having more exposure. We try to put stuff on social media, and we work with some really interesting people and some overachievers in their previous life, which just faced the accidents, and now they're falling in love with the same thing we do. So,
Oh, it's awesome. It's great. Just whenever you're going to be, having an event, just let us know, just so we let everyone else know for sure.
absolutely.
It'll be a busy day. And awesome. Good for you. And congratulations again, Caleb.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Okay. And then that leaves us with
Into Science World there next year too, David.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the chair down there. So that leaves us with the XE contest that we hold every year, where we ask you guys to submit your flight for the prize. It was $300. There wasn't very many posts, so I'm not sure if we're doing a great job of advertising this one and reminding people that we do actually have an XE contest that's set up for the seniors and juniors, just and the scoring is keep it fair. So there is 2 different divisions, but this year it was just mainly seniors, and it was Peter Spears came in first. Go figure. So he is the prize winner of $300. Anyhow, I don't see him here. Actually, is he in Valle?
There was a Peter at some point, but no mass.
No, I think what was it? Yeah, I think they're away. But anyhow, we'll get a hold of him and let him know.
I think if you look over my shoulder here, he's right there. He's right on
Yeah.
LP right now. You can circle him.
On there, yeah. Probably is. Anyhow,
Yeah, we'll try to promote that contest a little bit better, like throughout the flying season rather than at the end next year, so that more people take part.
well, when we revamp the website, we'll go through a whole bunch of these things that would maybe adding some prize divisions and beyond rookie, some kind of in the middle. I mean, well, we also have the XA contest, which is also pretty good too. But yeah, maybe we'll concentrate more on just fun events. Getting that going a little bit better. Barbecues, stuff like that, get togethers. That's what I really like to see. Some more community engagement, just kind of having fun. Right? Even if it's just a regular barbecue, inviting the families down to a park. Wives, children, that are, come on, everyone come on out, not just pilots.
Yeah, agreed.
Something we'll talk about later. Other than that, anybody got questions? Nemo will be in touch. Get you connected on the board chat and whatnot. Okay. And yeah, I don't know. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for great work.
Yeah, man. No, everyone's been doing great work.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for attending, guys.
Awesome, guys.
Awesome, guys. Take it easy.